Let's take this to former Republican Congressman, presidential candidate, Dr. Ron Paul, joining me now. Good to have you, Doctor.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
So Senator Schumer and the Democrats saying that basically that the GOP plan will introduce chaos into the system. Trump is planning executive actions for Obamacare's repeal. The Republicans planning to get an Obamacare repeal bill on the president's desk by February 20th. So basically, do you think that Obama's legacy is enough to stop the GOP, given that the Dems have lost so dramatically at the midterms in the last election?
I don't think so. I think it's a little bit late for him to be worrying about his legacy. He has too many other things over his head. But certainly this medical thing will never go well with his legacy. And it's just too much tinkering with management. I think they need to talk about, not just replacement, but the whole principle of who's supposed to deliver services, goods and services, in a free country. And it's not the government. So if you just tinker with it and change management and change the program, I mean, the bigger problem is why is the government in charge now 100% essentially of delivering medical care to the people? I mean, this is what Obamacare did. For a while it was just on the edges, but now it's overwhelming, and it proves it doesn't work. So I don't think the Republicans have to end Obamacare. It will eventually end itself, but they better be prepared, to try to find an alternative, which I think it should be found in the marketplace and not with just a change in management of a government system.
Right. And Dr. Paul, let's take a look back to some of the promises made about Obamacare. I'd like your reaction to it. Let's roll tape.
Affordable. Affordable. There's a reason. Affordable. 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 Affordable.
If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor. Period.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it, away from the fog of the controversy.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. Period.
Again, this was basically a bill that the Democrats passed with no bipartisan deal. It affected all of us in the most intimate of ways. And now we've got Nancy Pelosi writing to members in a Dear Colleague letter saying, quote, the Affordable Care Act has been successful in meeting its goals of reducing costs, increasing access, improving quality of care. So, Doctor, who is right?
Well, just what you played there demonstrates why people are so upset with government. I certainly don't think those who are defending Obamacare are anywhere close to being right. I think it's just that, you wonder about, do they lie on purpose or they deceive themselves? I mean, this is total nonsense. You pass bills. Well, whether it's true, that's probably the only true statement we just heard, was Congress doesn't read anything. It's impossible. You can't understand it, and then you thousands of pages and then thousands of regulations, and nobody knows what's going to be in there. So she's right. Let's pass it and see what happens. And I was told once.
And Doctor, I just want I want your reaction to this bit of irony. We have today Connecticut Democrat Senator Chris Murphy telling reporters that the Republicans are going to try to rush this through so fast that the American public can't see what they will do, even though no one read the first bill to begin with. Right, Doctor?
Well, that's for sure, and it depends on what they want to do. And if you're going to revamp it and get better management, which I think is impossible, that is complicated, and you can't rush it through, and it'll be complex. I think you could do a couple things, like have the right to opt out and deduct your expenses. Can you imagine what that would do for millions and millions of people? And then if you have to continue this process with Medicare and Medicaid, you can do that, but just allow a few people to move out and get out, because they would set the standard and a lot more people would move out. Changing the rules on tax deductions and savings accounts and a little bit of changes on insurance. I think I could do it in one page and if somebody else wants to tinker around the management of this and keep 99% of that, that's not going to work. Just if you can't legalize a lot of freedom, legalize at least a little bit. In education, at least we can homeschool our kids and we can go to private schools, which keeps a little bit of check on government schools. That's what I'm looking for, is to allow a little bit of freedom to leak into this system, and we'd all be better off.
$1 trillion in taxes over the next decade from Obamacare, including that Cadillac tax on the expensive plans that unions use. And why not let insurers compete across state lines? Maybe that will come up.